how did you feel when you first got the news that you were actually pregnant?
Well, to be honest with you, my mama told me that I was pregnant. I didn't know that I was pregnant, and I'm glad it happened that way because as much as I loved you, um, I didn't want to disappoint my mom. So it was a struggle at first being pregnant because when she first brought that to me, uh, I told her that it wasn't true. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to deny it by any means necessary to not hurt my mom. That was my biggest thing. And then once I got past that, I fell in love with you. I started reading books to you while you was in my stomach. I started singing to you. I started nurturing you while you was still in the womb. And but that was my biggest thing. And another thing was where we come from. We came from a small town, Arkansas, where the name meant a lot. So coming from that small town, if you made a mistake, it was like that whole entire family made that mistake. So that was a letdown to my mom and her friends. Um, I can remember one of my mom's friends coming to visit, and I was pregnant at the time with you. And the lady looked over at me and she said, I have a gift for you. Although you put the horse, although you put the cart before the horse, I'm still going to give you this gift. Well, just like you have a supportive mom, my mama was very supportive. Although she was let down, she didn't let anybody else know that she was let down. So she really wasn't pleased with that statement that was said to me. And just going to school, because I was 17 when I had you, just finishing school and doing my lessons, still graduating 20% in the 20 percentile of my class. Now, had I not got pregnant, I could have did better than that. Um, but I don't regret anything, and I wouldn't take away anything.
Yes, because I know I'm the best daughter in the world, so of course not. But
I wouldn't say
let
that.
me let me ask you this, right? So, how was it being a teenage mom actually going to school? Not, I know it was difficult, trying to keep up with your lessons and everything, but once you actually had the baby, but how was it walking through the hallways in high school carrying a child? Did you feel any sense of like embarrassment or anything amongst your peers? How did that make you feel?
Well, I'm not the type of person that get embarrassed,
Hmm.
by people. My mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, these are the type of people I don't want to let down. Okay, it was certain teachers that I respected, and they had a deep respect for me. Uh, that was more so, not so much of my peers, because although I cared about my peers, I really didn't care enough to care about what they talked about. You get what I'm saying? So
Exactly. And I think that, you know what? I think I get that from you because I'm like one of those people, like I legitimately do not care about what people think for real. I just
I will give
really,
you something to talk about.
yeah, it's like, okay, it's like I hear it, but it's not one of those things where I necessarily internalize it to a point where I let it make me feel some type of way about myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing defines me. Nothing defines me but me. I try to do a internal inventory of my life all the time. Almost every day, I look inside of myself and say, "What could I have did better?" And
Right.
so, any judgment that come upon me, I'm gonna judge myself. I'm my biggest critic, so I'm gonna judge myself, and whatever conclusion that I come with at the end of that judgment, I'm gonna do something about it. It's all about doing the work anyway. And
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm really big on self-reflecting, and actually what they say, checking myself. I'm really big
Right.
on checking myself, and before I point the finger at somebody else, when things happen, I look to see, what was my part in a particular situation, and I always think of ways to self improve to become the best version of myself that I possibly can. So
And
I'm big on
that's
it.
basically all that we can do. You
Hmm.
know, try to make ourselves better each day. And then if we fail, that's okay. It's okay to fail as long as you don't stay in that failure and you get back up and you just try it again.
Yep, exactly. And I
That's what.
think I think having that attitude, it creates a certain level of confidence and everything, and a certain level of tenacity to go out and do things. And one thing that I really admire about our relationship is the fact that as a kid, you guys, you and my dad, like all of the people around me, really have actually encouraged me and empowered me to be my own person and to have a voice. And I will say this to you guys that's out there listening: I have always been what you see. I'm a little bit, I've always been what you see. Um, and I've never had a problem with standing up to authority, right? And here's the beauty of the relationship that I had with my parents, um, and especially my mom, is because she was my custodial parent, right? So I've never actually had a problem with like challenging my parents respectfully. And what that actually did was it allowed a certain level of growth in my parents as well. With me being and the thing is, they welcomed it. I had to be respectful with certain things, but I still was able to, even as a kid, I always was able to, speak up for myself and have a voice. Like what I felt about things, what I thought about things, it mattered to them. And I think that
I
is
never
very
wanted to strip
important.
you. I never wanted to strip you or take away from your personality, from your talents, and what you had to offer. Um, and by doing that, it helped me to develop as a mom in so many words. Because when you think about it, no child come with instructions. But I was smart enough to know that this little human have a voice. And I wanted to hear what this little human had to say. And I'm glad I did take that route. I'm so glad because it was so many times that as you became a teenager, I was able to learn from you.